Let's now continue on this and bring in Sunny Morgan from the Global Sumud Flotilla-South Africa representative. Thank you so much, Sunny, for your time, and good afternoon to you. Can you take us back, to that moment the flotilla was intercepted? What exactly happened on the boats as Israeli forces boarded in international waters? Of course, we know that 3 South Africans have now been detained too.
So basically what would happen is, how it started is about 20 gunboats, naval vessels from the Israeli army formed a blockade to prevent our boats, or the Sumud's boats, from proceeding. They then began to offload or remove people from the first boat, where Chief Mandla Mandela was on. That boat with a number of other activists was one of the first ones to be intercepted. People were then forcibly removed from the boat. And throughout the night until probably about breakfast time, South African time. Today, the last boat, the Fair Lady that we were viewing, activists were removed from that boat after it had traveled some distance away from all of the other boats. As it's reported now, all 40 boats that make up the flotilla, is actually 44 boats that make up the flotilla. 2 of them are observer boats. The observer boats have not been intercepted, but the rest of the boats either fall into the category of intercepted or assumed intercepted. We assume interception if we lose communications with the boat for more than 6 hours. So at this point, and as you see, your previous speaker spoke, says all of the boats are assumed to have now been intercepted.
Yeah.
And so that makes 6 South Africans, 6 South Africans now.
Yeah. And I know you have had no contact, as you say, in over 6 hours, but just do you know at this stage how they are doing and where they're being kept, and just the protocol around that?
We have no particular confirmation of where exactly they are. If it follows the process that it was mapped out about how it might unfold, then all of the activists, over 500 of them, will be taken to the port of Ashdod, where they will be processed. And at that port, we already have our legal representatives ready to receive the South Africans, and we are obviously in contact with DIRCO and the consular services, both in Israel, in Jordan, and in Egypt.
Yeah. So Israel, you said you were listening to that conversation with my colleague Blake from Tel Aviv. Israel has claimed that the flotilla's mission was a breach of what it says a lawful naval blockade, speaking about it being a war zone. From your perspective, what does this interception mean for humanitarian rights? Given that as we know, the flotilla was intercepted 70 nautical miles off Gaza. That's essentially in international waters.
Absolutely. So we cannot believe any of the information that comes from the Israelis, because they have proven before that they speak untruths, or to put it more bluntly, they lie. All of the activists were abducted or kidnapped in international waters. And this is a war crime in itself, maritime crime, illegal maritime crime. It's a humanitarian mission carrying food, medicine, toys, that kind of stuff. Definitely, absolutely nothing to do with any accusation that the Israelis might make. This was an illegal act, purely driven by their need to stop humanitarian aid from reaching the starving Palestinians, the starving Gazans that are probably waiting on the shore for these boats to arrive.
And I was going to ask you the kind of aid and medical supplies that are in these boats. Did all the 44 boats have these supplies? And what does this now mean for the people of Gaza, that this aid has now been stopped?
Yeah, every single boat was carrying something, whether it was food, baby formula, or medicine. Every single boat was carrying it. Of course, now it's not going to make its its way to an aid organization. We don't believe that the Israelis will act honorably in that regard. We must remind the viewers and the listeners that there are over 3,000 trucks at the border waiting with food that can eradicate the hunger and the starvation immediately, but Israel won't allow it in. This is a war crime, using food as a weapon and starvation. It's unconscionable that the Israelis would do this, but they are behaving exactly as we expected them to behave.
Very quickly, as we wrap up, Sunny, but what kind of role do you think South Africa can act even more? We know, of course, that President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned this, has asked for the release of all those South Africans and other humanitarian activists. I mean, do you see this act as a continuation of South Africa's moral duty, per se?
South Africa is behaving exactly as we expected. We have done the apex move of taking the genocidal state of Israel to the International Criminal Court. We trust that our government will do everything in its power. They have diplomatic channels that they have to follow. We believe that the president can make a stronger appeal, appeal similar to the one that the president of Colombia has made. We believe that he should expel the Israeli diplomats that still in retaliation for this act that it has just been undertaken. The president can go a step further and he can expel the Israeli diplomats from South Africa. And I think that should be our demand.
Sunny, thank you so much. Do appreciate your time. Sunny Morgan from the Global Sumud Flotilla in South Africa there for us.